Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the team here for joining us today. Really excited to talk a little bit more about Moonie Moo, the project you guys are working on. But real quick, I wanted just to get a quick introduction from both of you, and maybe introduce yourself, kind of explain what your role is, and maybe what your involvement in the Web3 space has been up until this point.
Sure, with absolute pleasure. So my name is Martin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Moonie Moo. I'm also run a company called MXT, which is a blockchain technology development company based in a little place called the Isle of Man, which is a little island between England and Ireland. My background is actually from sports. I was a professional track athlete. So I traveled around the world for many, many years until I graduated from university, and then got into the world of finance, and actually ended up working and living in Libya, of all places, during 2009, 2010, 2011, which was a very interesting time to be in Libya with the Arab Spring. And during this time, I set up my own investment company and quickly realized the shortcomings of the traditional banking financial system, and realized the future was peer-to-peer, getting rid of the middle people, the fat cats, and really the ones that didn't add any value to the transaction. And of course, initially that was Bitcoin. And then during the last sort of nearly 15 years now, that technology has been superseded many times over. But ultimately, it laid a great foundation of possibility. And actually, it was 2018 when I set up MXT, and we began building the team we have now. So, I mean, we've done things like we've built blockchains and set up cryptocurrencies and wallets. I mean, this is building from scratch. Marketplaces. We've dealt directly with financial regulators, with lawyers, and also with politicians. So we have sort of an excellent understanding of the sort of fundamentals, the backbone of that infrastructure in the real world, or as we would refer to it as Web 2. But now we are, officially entering or entered the world of Web 3 with this project, Moonie Moo. Alongside our business partner and our friend Keith Chapman, but also with my very long good friend Andy, who's with me today, and I've known Andy for a long time. So Andy, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm Andy. I actually live on the Isle of Man. I've been here for a very long time. I brought over here as a kid. Started my career in offshore banking, which is what the island was known for way back when. Transitioned that into online gaming with PokerStars, and spent many years with them from almost the start of the company to 14 years later. And then in 2019, joined Martin on his blockchain company development. And since then, we've worked on a great number of projects which have brought us to where we are today with Moonie Moo and Keith Chapman. And it's been an incredible ride, if I'm honest. So yeah, that's me.
And there's still quite a ways to go, right? So
there is.
Why don't you guys give us a quick overview of exactly what Moonie Moo is, and I guess like what it's trying to be in the Web3 space? Maybe something that's not there, or maybe it's kind of just another version of something. Just kind of give us an overview of what it is.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, for those who don't know, Moonie Moo is a concept that's been created from Keith Chapman. Keith and myself are actually personal friends. Our kids go to the same school, so that's how we met. So why am I talking about Keith Chapman? Well, Keith obviously is our creator, but also he's created some other quite big brands, such as Bob the Builder, that's actually 24 years old this year, and Paw Patrol. So if you're a parent anywhere in the world, really, I was going to say the Western world, it doesn't make any difference where you are, you will know of Paw Patrol. So Keith is sort of probably the biggest number one kids IP creator in the world, and we collectively are moving that sort of power into Web3. So ultimately, Moonie Moo is the story of a cow called Moonie. Simple as that. Who's from very humble beginnings and is now a mega superstar, and we follow her on this journey like a fly on the wall documentary style animation TV series, and it's aimed at a more mature audience than Paw Patrol. And the intention of the animation series is similar to that of Paw Patrol. It's not just a TV series; it's actually to build a brand and for franchises, merchandising, licensing, and so on and so forth, like many of other projects that Keith has done. So ultimately, the start for us is to design the cartoon. Everything is going to come. That's the flagship of the brand that gets the brand known around the world, and then to branch off from that. So immediately from post mint, our goal is three things. We need an animation Bible, which is a very detailed document that includes all the illustrations of characters, all the assets, backgrounds, backstories, character development, so on and so forth. And then we need a 1 minute trailer, which is the full high quality 1 minute feature. And then lastly, we need 2 to 3 full length episode scripts, and together with Keith, an award-winning cartoonist and a world-class scriptwriter, we will put that together. It will take around about 3 months to produce, and with those 3 items, with that team, we will be ready then to go off and greenlight the cartoon series, which will obviously take then some time to develop. I do believe it's going to be around about 52 episodes for one season. It's kind of crazy, and of course that costs a lot of money. And we're doing this with Keith. We're the tech, we're support, we're the team with him. Normally he does this on his own, but we're coming into Web3 because one, he knows that this is the future. He's very, very interested in the ownership and the rights that the NFT has technology-wise. The singular blockchain and looking at that from a technical point of view, provenance and so on and so forth, copyright, everything. It is very, very, very interesting. Certainly in that sort of artist space, music, film. We all knew when we were younger, sort of Napster and Metallica and all that kind of stuff. So this is sort of bringing it into a digital way where it's fair and it's simple to see. So he's always been interested in that, rather than the sort of cryptocurrency that he didn't understand so well, but the NFT and with the art he really did. So that spiked his interest, and ultimately that's why we are where we are. So just to give you a bit of a rundown of the NFT itself of Moonie Moo. So it's not it's not a PFP, but it's also not a Genesis Pass. It's a little bit of both. So it has what a Genesis Pass does, but it's not a PFP like you would have on your Twitter. It's 7,777, which is a lot. But, we envision having a large community. We believe that this is going to be a very big project, and we want a lot of people involved. The more the merrier, and we do want it as decentralized as possible. That's the whole point of doing it in Web3. Otherwise, we'd have just raised a load of money off 2 or 3 people, and that would be it. The point is to actually create with the community and get their feedback on the characters, the development, the storylines, and we're all one family creating. And that's, it's a new challenge for Keith. He's done it all in Web 2. Now he's coming into Web 3 to do it again, but in a different style, a more challenging style, and it being fresh. So that being said, the NFT we've got, which is not a PFP, it's not is going to actually be an evolving NFT visually. So the art will change with time. So once the illustrators, the cartoonists have done their draft or their signed off design of Moonie Moo, that will then start moving into the actual NFT that people have had. Potentially they've held it for maybe 2 or 3 months, and they'll start seeing changes visually happening to their NFT, which should be kind of fun to watch. And that will carry on and carry on. So once the cartoon starts, initially it's going to be a 2D cartoon. The finalized Moonie Moo will be your NFT. So you will see your NFT and it will be obvious. Oh, that's Moonie Moo from the TV. Yeah, we've seen that. Rather than at the moment, it is simply a sketch that Keith himself has drawn up. And if we go then into 3D animation, the NFT will become a 3D animation and potentially even move. Again, that's we'll see about that. And then we're going to be doing brand partnerships with some top designer clothing, so you'll actually be able to buy or trade certain clothes for your Moonie Moo NFT. And then we'll be doing some real life clothing as well. But ultimately, the goal is simple: is to build it into a global brand. So that's partnerships with food, clothing, toys, the whole works. As I mentioned, it is going to be a slightly older audience, but children of a slightly older caliber, teenagers and upwards. So there's still a huge market to meet and be able to consume all of this good stuff. So we're trying to set it up as one of a big brand in Web3. I'm trying to bring in millions of fans that Keith has amassed over the years into this new project from Web 2 and bring them into Web 3. And bring real value to Web 3. And we have a fairly simple yet precise roadmap laid out. And we believe that we can achieve what we've got there. Keith has achieved everything we've got on the roadmap already in multiple projects. There's nothing on there that it's, well, we'll have to work on that, or this is this, and we're going to put a team together. No. We have everything. So what we're saying we can do. We have a little bit at the end. It's about the metaverse. We're not there yet. We don't know, so we're not promising anything. Everything else we know that we can do and we can deliver. With regards to, I don't know if you have any questions, but I mean, I can go just run through the utilities, because obviously it is a Genesis.
I did want to stop you and just ask a few questions. And one of the questions was utilities. So, but before I get there, I just want to make sure I understand. So obviously these Moonie Moos will be evolving over time depending on what direction the art goes into. But is each one of them going to be unique and individual, or will they be, will there be multiples of certain ones, or will they all be the same, you know, evolving figure?
So every Moonie Moo, right from the start, I do believe there's going to be a reveal. So everyone will get an image that is all the same for a few days. And then it will be revealed, and every single one will be completely unique. There'll be some surprises in there as well. We haven't announced them yet. And then when the evolution happens, it will happen across the board. So they will remain all unique. So yeah, they're not going to be the same. There won't be groups of the same. Every single one will be absolutely unique. And actually what we want to also do is we want to do some PFPs, because that's actually something that me coming from sort of from Web 2. Well, we all came from Web 2 at some stage, but later was looking at, what was the value of utility as opposed to the value of PFP. And, when Keith first drew the image, I thought, oh, do you know what? That's cool. That's different. It's not like a PFP like everyone else does. And I thought, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the full body, and we can do all sorts of other things and so on. But actually, I see now, and speaking to people and meeting people in the space, is actually the PFP is actually a very, very valuable thing. It's a very valuable representation of individuals and people. And it identifies people as parts of communities. People can mix and match them, change them as they like. I think I didn't realize the value that I always thought that it was, it had to be utility and so on and so forth over that. So I think what we are going to move into is we're going to offer a PFP shortly. And there's a few characters that are quite unique in Moonie Moo. One is Aberdeen Angus, which is her boyfriend, which is a bull. So we'll be getting into him next. I think Keith is actually working on the initial sketches of him in these next couple of days. So that'll be quite interesting.
Excellent. Okay. So I guess my next question would be, it seems like you guys are boasting a lot of utility, one of which is I think a 15% revenue share. I would like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So, the utility. So this will be unique to Genesis holders of the Moonie Moo Genesis. Wouldn't be for anything else afterwards. And so what we're going to do is we are putting away 15% of the net profits of the entire brand. So that's not just the animation. That'll be if we have a deal with Domino's Pizzas, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Colgate toothpaste, Walker's packets of crisps, whatever it is, kids' toys, every bit of income that comes in, 15% will be put away for the benefit of holders. Now, ultimately, what do we want to do? Our dream is to pay every single holder a holding dividend, right? That's the dream. But there are obviously legal and financial gates, bars in our way in certain jurisdictions. So, and we there's certain jurisdictions we can do that with, and we know that. There's others that we cannot. So we need to facilitate a method of being able to get this level of value to the community equally. So if you're resident in one country, you shouldn't be penalized because your government doesn't want you to have this, whereas someone else in the community is in another country and they get to have it. That's not fair. So we need to find a solution. We have lawyers that are going to find it. But at the end of the day, we are still sectioning 15% of the net profits of Keith Chapman's next production, Moonie Moo, for the benefit of 7,777 holders. Of course, if you don't know Keith or what he's done, or you're not familiar with Bob the Builder or Paw Patrol, just to give you a sort of rough idea of sort of what we're looking at here, why it's a big deal. Keith's creations to date have generated over $19 billion in global sales. That goes up about 1.6 billion every single year. So it's very big numbers. To put it into perspective, Steven Spielberg's movies have grossed around about 10 billion, a bit more than 10 billion. So that just shows you the scale of Keith's creativeness, creative genius and success. As I mentioned before, one of the utilities is the evolution of the artwork in the NFT. We will be developing a number of bits and pieces. We come from a tech background, so platforms and so on and so forth will be something we're going to build. We're going to see certain things in Web3 that we feel that need improving, why would we use that? We can build something better ourselves. We have some of the top developers from PokerStars who basically built up the infrastructure of PokerStars, becoming the biggest online poker company in the world. We're the founders of MXT, the blockchain company, and of course we have Keith, the creator of Paw Patrol. Also, it's about community. You're part of the community. You're going to help build a cartoon series. Definite bragging rights. I mentioned also before about brand partnerships and licensing and merchandising, but also we want to do it both ways. So Moonie Moo, sure, yeah, she's going to partner with Gucci or Prada or all of that good stuff, but also she is going to partner with established, trusted Web3 brands and showcase them on her TV show in Web2. So bringing Web3 to Web2 on a very big platform, and ultimately inviting Web2 into Web3, and most importantly, getting those big executives, executive producers, the studio bosses, to see the value, the real value, and the creativity is in Web3 and not in Web2. We will be having privileged mint for all of our holders. So if you hold a Moonie Moo Genesis, anything else we come out with will be a discount, guaranteed white, even a free mint, potential airdrops, and that includes PFPs. You'll be automatically part of the exclusive holders club, which will have online events and real life events as well. And we're going to have a voting system. So if you're if you're the holder, you will have a vote for every NFT you have. It counts as one vote, and that will affect the direction of the art, the characters, the storyline, but also the overall business. So you'll have a say on, should we partner with this brand? This is the offer. We're going to be very transparent with what's going on. I think that's super exciting. And it's massive value for the brand itself. Even if you look at films and cartoons and concepts and so on and so forth, they always do a test screening and they get hundreds of people off the street and say, come in, have a look. Here's a questionnaire. We're going to pay you a few dollars and go watch this movie for an hour. And then we want to hear what you think. Here we have thousands and thousands of people that have invested in our idea and are giving their feedback when they're actually invested in the outcome. I mean, it's the best scenario because you're going to get passion because they care. One, they care, and two, they financially care. And that's another thing that that really sold Keith on the whole concept of Web3 was the sense of community and be able to utilize and harness the power of that. And of course, since we've been in the space, people have said, people get bored very quickly. So they mint an NFT, fantastic, and then it's like, well, what do I do? And people said, well, you guys are doing a cartoon. It takes a while. It's not going to happen in a week or two. Sure, no, it's not. So we need some immediate utilities. These are growing. There will be more, but at the moment, well, straight away, you own the IP of your Moonie Moo, so you can do what you want with your Moonie Moo. So if you wanted to, set up a business or brand something or whatever, you're more than welcome to use your image. We're also going to do some educational sessions on Discord, both Web 2 and Web 3. So that means we're going to get some high-profile individuals from Web 3, so big alpha callers, investors, people like yourselves to do talks. Mitch came on the other day, did a great seminar to our community, which is fantastic. So it's that kind of stuff we're going to bring in, and then also from Web 2, from Keith's contacts, directors, Oscar-winning actors, producers, writers, creators from the cartoon world, from the movie world, and get everyone involved. So that's sort of kind of where we're up to. I think. I mean, I've probably missed out a load of stuff. We've had like 5 AMAs today, so and it's like half midnight my time. But yeah, but I'm delighted to be here. You guys are a really cool space. We've spoken to you guys a number of times, and happy to dive right in.
Hell yeah! No, I appreciate the breakdown there. So few times do I have just someone that knows exactly what the points are they need to talk about. A lot of times I have to lead them to it, and I feel like I didn't have to do that so much with you guys. You gave me what we wanted. So I do have a few follow-up questions. So what kind of dates are we looking at here? Like when is, for example, when is a mint coming? What does that look like? How many of these are there going to be? What are mint prices? Have you guys determined all that kind of stuff yet?
Yeah, I think pretty much. I think we're pretty much ready with all of that. So what I can divulge is the 1st of March, we're making an official announcement. That announcement will include the mint date, the mint price, and the location of the mint. So where we are minting, and that's actually quite an important feature now. With what's been happening with certain hacks and wallet drainers and all of this kind of stuff, is it's important where you mint, where minters feel safe. Security is a big issue in this space. So that will all be announced on the 1st. The price, we know. People have asked us. It's basically sort of the number one question. We know what we need to get to ultimately to execute the roadmap. It is. We feel it's very, very reasonable. It's not a free mint. Because we need to raise funds to do the job and to deliver. But it's also it's not ridiculous. But anyway, you guys will see in like a week or so.
Excellent. And one of the things that you mentioned is, we have the rights to use our images. And this just came to my mind because I was like, I wonder what would happen. What if someone wanted to use their image to create their own cartoon? Is that something that you guys would be okay with? Or is that like, oh, okay, well, now that's too much?
Yeah, great. The race is on, isn't it? That's fine. and yeah, I'm sure. I mean, hopefully, we have people in the community that have the resources and so on to do that. We know what's involved, so yeah, crack on. We have no issue with that. But yeah, it's a good point, and it has actually. I think Andy mentioned that to me. He said, "Oh, what about if someone starts a cartoon?" It's like, listen, it's not like printing a picture or printing a T-shirt. The whole cartoon it's a big deal, and then for someone actually then to get it out on TV and all of that kind of stuff, it's yeah. I mean, we have Keith. Paw Patrol's #1 globally on Netflix. So. Yeah, by all means, and obviously there are big players out there. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to mention any names, but yeah, no issue.
Awesome. Don't want to put the cart before the horse, or in this case, the calf before the whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you did a really great job of summarizing everything and kind of bringing things up. I don't think I have any other immediate questions, but I want to make sure that we end this on a positive note, in something that works for you guys. So I like to leave this in space here for maybe something that maybe we forgot to mention, or we just didn't come up in conversation, or just a quick summary, just so everyone can kind of have a quick summarization of exactly what they're getting into when they meant a Moonie Moo.
Sure. So yeah, with a Moonie Moo, ultimately you're getting the IP. You get full ownership of the IP. It is created from the creator of Bob the Builder and Paw Patrol, who has his past creations have generated global sales of over $19 billion, raising by $1.6 billion every single year. He's, let's say, the biggest IP kids creator in the world. You're going to get an evolving NFT. The moment the artwork is based on a sketch from Keith that is going to evolve into a actual cartoon character from the cartoonist that we will have on board post mint, and it will evolve to the character that then will be ultimately in the cartoon series. The goal is to get Moonie Moo into a cartoon series that's going to be a documentary style animation series, and then ultimately, off the success of that, exposure of that, product placement from that is then building it into a global brand, partnering with brands both in Web 2 and in Web 3. We're ultimately going to have 7,777 NFTs on offer on the Ethereum blockchain. Announcements of price and date and location of where to mint will be available on our Twitter and our website, mooniemoo.io or mooniemoo.io, Twitter, on the 1st of March. So that's a week on Wednesday. The utilities, big one, we are sectioning away 15% of all income. And that does include additional mints if we do any paid mints after Moonie Moo, nothing to do with the Genesis. Then 15% of that also will be set aside for the benefit of holders. We have a very extremely talented team. All our developers are from the team PokerStars, who built the biggest online poker gaming company in the world. We also have the founders of MXT blockchain company, so we have a very good understanding of all the framework that needs to be put in place in Web3 tech-wise. And we're going to do educational talks in our Discord for minters. And there'll be some PFPs coming out as well soon. I think I've just sort of overviewed that, but maybe I'm sure I missed a few bits out. But yeah, But yeah, listen, if you need anything, come into our Discord, which is discord.gg / or whatever it is, Moonie Moo, very simple. Or check us out on Twitter. Just get in touch with us, ask us any questions. More than welcome. We're always here. Normally in Discord, it's Armo. He's a co-founder like myself, and he's sort of our king founder of Discord. I'm very much sort of front of house, so I do a lot of the AMAs. Keith is away at the moment. He's back end of this week. So next week, Keith will be doing AMAs with me. So we'll be very, very busy. And Andy obviously is between Keith and myself, and keeps everything going with all the rest of the team and all the legal stuff and all that good operations. So yeah, we're here and happy to answer any questions.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to see how things go. So March 1st, we should know more about the mint and everything, but we are really excited to be partnering with you guys and to see where this new franchise takes us. So thanks so much for joining us. And guys, if you have any questions, just drop into their Discord and they'll be able to help you out. So thanks again, and can't wait. It's been a great talk. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having us. And hopefully we'll talk again soon. And let's keep in touch.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for listening.
Finally get some sleep. Hopefully it's the last one of the night.
It is.
Good stuff. All right. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.